Okay, by the time you're watching this, I have already released the David Omen video. If you're confused, go watch the video before you watch this. Spoiler alert. There's a lot to this video I did not talk about, and a lot that the viewers wouldn't understand without context. So to basically give you a quick rundown, a guy named Joey DM'd me on Instagram and asked me to visit the Omen house. He had pictures with Sam and Colby and a bunch of YouTubers. I was like, this guy's gotta be legit, so I flew to LA. After meeting up with him, he seemed pretty cool. He seemed legit. He was talking about the David Omen house and how it was built on one of the most infamous murder sites in Los Angeles, the Charles Manson murders. I didn't really know anything about them. I still kind of don't, but that's really besides the point, because the house was less interesting than David Omen himself. To me, David Omen is more interesting than the entire house. Right off rip, when we pulled up, David and Joey started arguing. If you watch the video, you guys know this segment. I mean, this is the craziest introduction we had to David Omen's house. So when Joey DM'd me, I told him I'm coming to LA, not everyone with me. So I had John, he drives the Sprinter. I had my girlfriend, Ashley. I had my boys, JC, Bragan, Matt's filmer, Matt's girlfriend, and then I had my filmer, Seb. So I came with 8 people. And when someone expects one person to come to their house and they see 9, it's an issue.
And I asked you what the f***'s going on. You came with one friend of yours is showing up. Now you got a dozen. I'm not here to argue. You said one friend of yours.
Is it an issue?
Well, what do you think? If I say one...
And as you can see, Joey wasn't taking it the right way. I don't know what Joey was doing, but he thought that he was in the right in that situation. Anyways, after sitting outside of his house super uncomfortable, we got invited in by David. David just flipped the switch and he was like, no, you know what? I made Joey a promise. Come in. Don't worry about it. Keep in mind, at this time, David is talking about how his dog is dying inside of his home. So that really set the mood for the night. Yeah, it was disturbing looking at his pet on the couch, literally about to pass away. And we could not figure out a way to leave. He would not let us leave. When we asked him, you know, David, it's all right, we want to go home, he would be like, no, it's okay. We want to give you a tour of the house. And he did that. He started giving us a tour of the home. My actual purpose for going to David Omen's house in the first place was to see actual paranormal activity with my own eyes. I've seen it all over YouTube. I've seen people talk about it, but I've never seen it. I wanted to see it, and I did. Okay, so one of the first weird things that happened was JC got his pants pulled on.
There's no right and wrong answer.
What?
I'm not trolling you. I swear to God, I'm not trolling you.
That's right now. Sometimes it's that
Bro, I
side.
swear
It shifts.
I could have sworn I just thought Nick pulled my pants. I felt something tug my pants. I turned around. He didn't touch me.
Yeah, I'll just say that's not uncommon for the house.
And David, you know, he reacts, that's not uncommon for the house. That's nothing crazy. At this point, I wanted to leave more than ever. I'm telling you, I cut all of this out, but I was asking David over and over, you know, we can leave. And he just kept saying, no. He wanted us to finish the house tour. Then mid-house tour, we walk upstairs to find David Omen's dog, Reggie, deceased. Rest in peace, Reggie.
No, nothing I can do. He passed away. I knew it was time. And living in a house with as much paranormal activity and having lost both my parents, my godfather, my business partner, and everything. Did you guys just hear something out of that?
Yeah. So at this part of the tour, all of us are shook. No words can describe how I felt. I felt uncomfortable, uninvited, disturbed, and scared. The next weird thing that happened was as we were walking downstairs right after Reggie just passed away, Matt's filmer felt something touch his neck.
No trouble.
I mean, it is insane. That's not really a coincidence at that point. I'm like, 2 weird things happened tonight. At this point, I'm like, 3 weird things have already happened. We haven't even been at the house for like 30 minutes at this point. They got into an argument. Matt's filmer just felt someone touch the back of his neck. JC got his pants pulled on. David's dog, Reggie, just passed away. There's no way this night can get any crazier. It does. Right here, David is giving us a tour of his basement. And that's when we step into a room that's called the rock room. This is the room right here. So there is 4 chairs, a TV, and a wine cellar. Behind the camera, there's a big rock that's a part of the Hollywood Hills. I show it right here. As you can see, I didn't know what this room was about until Ashley got her hair touched.
I like the view here.
You like the view there.
Somebody touched me.
Have you told me what happened?
Somebody touched you?
Wait, what?
Guys, did you just hear that?
Where?
Touched her neck. She just...
David is like, guys, you heard that? Look, I told you guys I'm not lying. This house is haunted. Look at John. John is like, yo, do I leave right now? What do we do here? At this point, it's like 5 weird things happened. Ashley just got her hair touched What is going on? And then boom, that's when David tells us there is a body buried in the rock that we were just in the room with. So that kind of all made sense. And another weird thing I forgot to mention to you guys is that when Ashley was crying in my arms, a water bottle fell over.
It's just like my friend who's a therapist said years ago. She goes, you can't do anything when one of your pets dies, because I called her years ago. And she goes, you just have to just go through it. So let's go downstairs then. He's in a better place. He's out of his pain. Yeah. Look.
Boom, water bottle falls over. Yep.
Just got knocked over on its own.
David just calmly says, it just got knocked over on its own. And then it gets even crazier. I still am shook about this to this day. As Ashley's crying because someone just touched her and David Omen's explaining how it's a spirit, John asks this.
Question.
Yeah.
What's my name?
Jonathan.
How did you know my name was Jonathan?
You said your name was Jonathan.
No, I didn't. I told you my name was John.
John.
What? John?
How did he know his name was Jonathan? I'm just kidding. I just felt like I had to add that in. Really, John? Come on. I mean, David Omen is a trooper. He lives through this stuff every day. He lives in a house where there's paranormal activity every single day of his life. That could make someone go a little bit crazy. Now, what I really didn't point out during the video, this is just kind of, I kept this off camera. Basically, midway through the tour, David and Joey, the guy who invited us, step outside. And it sounded like they were arguing. So we figured, let's get out of here, like now. Like no more letting him tell us, let's stay. We were just like, it stops here. We're leaving now. But turns out when we got back in the Sprinter van, Joey was telling us that David wasn't really happy. He was depressed and he was very upset about his dog, obviously, but he was also upset with other things going on in his life at the time, which is why we actually came back the next day. And I kept that out of the video because maybe it was a little bit more personal. There's a lot of stuff I can't say on camera. Everyone was feeling emotions. We were all frozen. We were stuck. None of us were curious. We didn't really want to see anything paranormal after our introduction. When Joey and David started arguing, we were all like, let's leave now. So we were kind of trapped in his house. I'd say we were there for about 3 hours maybe. And when we were leaving on the way home, Joey told us that. So that made us feel bad. But this is where it gets crazy. Matt Batista gets on a 45-minute phone call that night with him. Or maybe it was the morning after, I'm not sure, but he ended up inviting all of us to a pizza party. And none of us had any clue. So obviously I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Matt's like, I already told him we're all coming. So I'm like, okay, we gotta go, let's go. So we ended up going back the next day. And that's when David invited us to live with him. So David lives in the Hollywood Hills and he has a lot of connections with Hollywood production, Hollywood producers. He wanted us to be the main characters of a TV show living in his home, capturing paranormal activity every day and our reactions. My first instinct is, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Do I have to say yes? But I don't even remember what I said during this conversation we had. We were probably in his house for about an hour before we finally left because we kept trying to leave, but David was saying, no, guys, stay. It's okay. Just stay. No, seriously, just stay. The discussion we had on day 2 is completely off camera. But yeah, he pitched a TV show. He wanted us to be in his TV show. But the main reason I actually went back is because I felt bad and I felt like he needed maybe a friend or two. I felt good about doing that. JC and John, if you guys seen the video, they stayed back because JC was terrified, so I told John, just stay with JC, you're good. It all kind of made sense, like why David kept trying to get us to stay on day 1 because he was sad. Maybe he just did want friends, like he literally did not want us to leave. He just made us stay. And I'm glad we did stay for as long as we did. Unfortunately, we were there when Reggie passed, but rest in peace with Reggie, man. That was crazy. It was so unfortunate that happened the night we were there. And David called us the chosen ones. That's not a joke. That scared me a little bit. I was like, what does that mean? David also can speak to spirits in his head. Like mid-conversation, he'll just look up and start talking to spirits. I don't know if he's actually able to communicate with another life form or if he's kind of just going a little crazy from living with these spirits. But as you guys know, I didn't do much research on this guy's house before we went there. But after I got home, I started digging deep, going into rabbit holes, actually looking at what this guy David's house is about. It's literally scientifically proven to be a paranormal activity site for real life forms to communicate. I know it sounds crazy. Before this night, I didn't really believe in paranormal activity, but now I 100% do. But the big question everyone wants to know is, will I go back? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it would be great content. Don't get me wrong. I could make 3 videos out of this. And David's willing to let all of us stay at his home for 7 days. But do I want to do that personally? No. Not actually even the tiniest bit. The only reason I'm considering it is for you guys and content. So yeah, I want everyone's opinions right now. Let me know if I should go back to David Omen's house. And if I go there, I need to have something to do. I can't just sit around and wait for paranormal activity because no, I'm good. But yeah, I mean, the best emotion I felt that night was finally leaving the house. I genuinely felt like I escaped. I was like, finally, we're out. That's it. No more. We're done. Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster, but let me know down below, guys.